Have you ever looked at a photograph and felt a sudden, sharp pain in your chest? Not because the memory was sad, but because you realized you can never go back and fix your mistakes. We often live our lives thinking we have plenty of time. Time to say, I love you. Time to say, I'm sorry. Time to make things right. But sometimes, time runs out faster than we think. And today, I want to tell you a story about time, about a father's silent love, and about a son who learned the hardest lesson of his life. This story might make you uncomfortable. It might make you think about your own life, but above all, it will remind you that while some things can never be undone, your journey to becoming a better version of yourself, especially in mastering English, is still within your control. Let me introduce you to Rahul. Rahul was a successful software engineer living in the bustling city of Dhaka. He was married to a wonderful woman and they had a beautiful 5-year-old daughter. To the outside world, Rahul had it all. But in a small, quiet village, many miles away, lived another character in our story. Rahul's father, Mr. Rahman. Mr. Rahman was a retired school teacher. He was a man of dignity, with a gentle smile and a heart full of love for his only son. For years, it was just Rahul and his father. They were inseparable. But after Rahul got married and moved to the city, something silently shifted. At first, Rahul called every day. Then, it became once a week. He became absorbed in his new life, his career demanding his focus, his wife and daughter needing his attention. He told himself he was working hard to build a good future for his family, and in his mind, family slowly came to mean only his wife and child. His father, back in the village, became a secondary thought. Whenever Rahul did call, Mr. Rahman's first question was always, "Have you eaten, Rahul? How is my little princess?" He never complained about his loneliness. He never mentioned the silence in his big, empty house. He simply wanted to know his son was happy. But as the years passed, Mr. Rahman's health began to fade. The once strong man struggled with simple tasks. Rahul knew his father needed better care. He knew he should visit more often, or perhaps even bring his father to the city. But there was always an excuse: a big project at work, a family vacation planned months in advance. The cost of living in the city was high, and a bigger apartment would be expensive. So, he sent money. He believed that was his responsibility. He didn't realize that money cannot replace presence. Money cannot hold a hand during a painful night. Mr. Rahman, however, never once made Rahul feel guilty. He knew his son was busy. Even in his weakest moments, his love for Rahul remained his priority. The news came on a rainy Tuesday evening. Rahul's phone rang. It was a neighbor from the village. "Rahul, you need to come home. Your father, he's gone." The world seemed to stop spinning. The room grew cold. For a long moment, Rahul couldn't understand the words. Gone? How could he be gone? Rahul had been planning to visit next month. The journey to the village was a blur of tears and regret. When Rahul finally arrived, the house felt heavier than ever before. His father's body lay still, a gentle, peaceful expression on his face. Rahul broke down. He realized, with an agonizing certainty, all the conversations they would never have, all the apologies he would never be able to make. He had prioritized everything else over his father. And now, it was too late. As Rahul sat by his father's bed, his mind went back to a specific conversation from 2 years ago. It was one of the few times his father had made a request. Mr. Rahman had said, "Rahul, I would so love to see your daughter before I close my eyes for the last time. It's been so long. Can you bring her this winter?" And Rahul, distracted by his laptop, had replied, "Of course, Baba. Next winter, definitely. This year is just too hectic." Next winter came and went, and now his father would never get his wish. The weight of his neglect felt like a physical burden. He hadn't just lost his father, he had lost the chance to show him how much he mattered. The days after the funeral were a mix of grief and administrative tasks. Rahul was slowly sorting through his father's belongings. The old books, the worn-out glasses, the simple clothes, they all spoke of a man who needed so little. One afternoon, Rahul's phone rang. It was an unknown number. "Hello, am I speaking with Mr. Rahul Rahman?" A formal voice asked. "Yes, that's me. This is the manager of the local bank branch in your father's village. We've received news of Mr. Rahman's passing and we need to discuss his account. You are listed as the sole nominee." Rahul didn't think much of it. He assumed it was just to close a simple savings account with a minimal balance. His father had always lived so frugally. The next morning, Rahul went to the bank. The manager greeted him with a sympathetic smile. "We were all very fond of your father. He was a very consistent man." He then opened a thick file and laid out the documents. "Your father had several accounts with us, but the main reason we needed you here is for this." He pointed to a document detailing a fixed deposit receipt, FDR. Mr. Rahman opened this FDR several years ago. He made regular, albeit small contributions every single month, without fail. Rahul looked at the figure. He blinked. He rubbed his eyes. He thought he must be dreaming. The amount was 20 lakh Taka. "Every month?" Rahul asked, his voice barely a whisper. "But how?" The manager continued. "Yes, he was incredibly disciplined about it. Even when his health was failing, he'd find a way to make the deposit. He always said this was his final gift to his son and granddaughter." A new kind of pain ripped through Rahul's heart. This was the same father to whom Rahul had often forgotten to send money for his medicine, the same father who had lived in a house that needed repairs. Mr. Rahman hadn't been frugally saving for himself. He had been sacrificing his own comfort, his own needs, even his own medicine, to build this financial security for Rahul, for the son who rarely visited, the son who never brought his daughter. Rahul took the documents and left the bank. He drove back to his father's empty house. He sat on the veranda, the place where his father used to sit and wait for his calls. He pictured his father, frail and old, making his way to the bank, perhaps on a hot afternoon or a cold winter morning, just to deposit a few hundred Taka. He pictured his father choosing to skip a meal or delay buying medicine just so he wouldn't miss a payment. The 20 lakh Taka didn't feel like a gift. It felt like an indictment of Rahul's priorities. He realized his father's love was a kind of consistent, quiet force that he had completely taken for granted. His father's love was the tide, always coming back, even when Rahul stopped noticing. And Rahul's love, it had been temporary, conditional, and absent when it mattered most. He picked up his father's old notebook, the one where he used to track his expenses. The last entry, made just days before his death, was a simple one. Bank deposit, 1,000 Taka. And just below it, in shaky handwriting, he had written, "For Rahul and little princess, to keep them safe." Rahul sobbed. The tears were bitter, full of the realization of his monumental failure. He would never be able to tell his father how sorry he was. He could never show him that he now understood the magnitude of his sacrifice. The money, meant to bring him security, only brought him an immense sense of emptiness. He realized, with heartbreaking clarity, that he would trade every single Taka to have just 10 minutes with his father again. He thought back to all the times he had said, "I'll do it tomorrow. I'll call Baba tomorrow. I'll visit Baba next month. I'll buy his medicine next week." But tomorrow is not a promise, it's a gamble. And this time, Rahul had lost. This feeling of regret is a dangerous trap. It can consume you. It can make you feel so worthless that you stop trying to change. Many people fall into this trap. They focus so much on their past failures that they can't see the future they can still shape. But Arian's story, the one we started with, had a different ending. Arian also took a month-long break. He also felt discouraged. He also realized that starting again is hard, but he did start again. The most critical difference between Rahul and Arian is this. Rahul lost the chance to change his actions towards his father. The person he needed to change for was gone. But your story is still being written. Maybe you are listening to this and realizing you haven't spoken to a loved one in weeks. Call them now. Maybe you are realizing you have abandoned your dreams, your studies, your goals, just like Arian almost did. But Arian decided to return. He didn't let one missed month define his entire future. He accepted his failure, and then he made a new promise, a simpler promise. Just 10 minutes a day. Consistency is not about never making a mistake. It's about having the courage to keep coming back. This entire journey, both in your relationships and in your English skills, is not about being perfect. It is about showing up. Just as water slowly but surely changes a massive rock, your daily, small efforts will change you. Learning English is a long journey. You will not become fluent after one marathon study session. It is the 10 minutes of listening you do tonight, the 3 new words you learn tomorrow, the 2 sentences you speak before you sleep. It is the act of not letting your process reach zero, even on your hardest days. If you have taken a break, don't waste time feeling guilty. Use that energy to pick up your notebook, open your book, or speak a few sentences. Today is the only day you can change. So, as we conclude this video, I want to invite you to take your first small step. Your journey is about you. Your past efforts are not lost. They are the roots growing beneath the soil. Every time you show up, you are watering the plant of your dreams. Just like Rahul had to learn the hard way that consistency in love matters, we want to help you understand that consistency in English matters too. Arian's story showed us that even a simple 10-minute habit can lead to life-changing confidence. Your future self will be built by the small things you keep coming back to. And if you want to continue your English learning journey with us, to hear more inspirational stories like this, and to find the support you need to build your daily consistency, don't forget to subscribe to our Prime Academy YouTube channel and follow our Facebook page. Every single video we create is designed to bring you one step closer to your destination. Thank you so much for staying with us. We believe in you. Just start with 10 minutes. See you in the next video. Prime Academy. We create values.